On the bench today, 3 products from a company called Metmo. Now I have ordered $1,000 worth of stuff from this company, but they're still in production and I'll have videos for those once I get them. But in the meantime, the company have sent me these for free so I can show you these. And that's why there was that little, that notice up in the corner at the beginning of the video. They haven't paid me to do this, but they've sent me these for free, so technically I'm meant to put that up there. Now the products I'm waiting for are the Metmo driver, which looks like this. And the Metmo cube, which looks like this. I know it's technically not a tool, but it's a cool piece of engineering that I thought you guys might be interested in. And that's basically what all these things are. Metmo stands for Metal in Motion. It's an abbreviation of that. And here are 3 things from the company, as I said. This is the Helico. And as you can see, it's kind of like a fidget toy. These are 2 separate components. And you can get them to do all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, and when I first got these from them, I thought, what am I going to do with that? I'm not a fidget toy sort of person, I've got plenty of other real tools and toys to play with. So, but I found the day I got it, I could not stop fiddling with them. I just had them in my pocket and I was just wandering around thinking of video ideas and wandering backwards and forwards between the house and the garage and stuff, and I would always just have these in my hand playing with them. It got quite addictive and you can do some cool stuff with them. I like just doing simple things like this. Whee! Good old magnets, eh? That is one of their products. That's called the Helico. That's Mark II version. This one has a herringbone type pattern for the tread, I guess you could call it. Looks a bit like a tire. And you can also get one that has sort of studs all over it that lock in more ways than you can with this one. Also on the bench here, a very nice, cool looking pen with a couple of interesting nuts on it. Look, they go in different directions. I'm turning them the same way and they're heading in different directions. If we take a close-up look at the thread here, you can see there's several threads going on and it creates like a diamond pattern between them all. And that allows these nuts to do things nuts wouldn't normally do. And it means it's good fun to play with, just like the Helico is. It's basically a fidget toy that you can also write with. So you can sit there writing away at your desk or at your workbench or your work site or wherever. And yeah, you've got a fidget toy at the same time. And you can sort of put the nuts wherever you wish to sort of make it comfortable to write with. I like putting it on that part of my hand. Sort of feels right. And comes with the 2 nuts, which as you can see are both threaded differently so that they go different directions. Or are they? Can you make this one go the same way as that one? Isn't that weird, eh? No matter what you do, they want to go different directions, even though you're turning them the same way. These are cool sort of conversation pieces, I guess you'd say. Just cool to show other guys some cool sort of bits of engineering that you can just hold in your hand. Sort of stuff you don't normally get to play with. That's come from big engineering projects, The company was started by 2 engineers, so they wanted to bring engineering that's fancy to the masses, basically. One of them worked for a sports car company, I can't remember what the other guy does, but they're based in Leeds in the UK, and they wanted to show how wire EDM technology could be used in just on something that's cool and pretty pointless, but that will impress your mates and it's just something cool to play with and to have sitting around as a conversation piece. And that's the cube that I'm talking about that you saw at the beginning. Now, I don't know a huge amount on wire EDM. EDM stands for electrical discharge machining, and basically I think how it works is this is a layman's terminology or a layman's explanation, but essentially a wire running through a piece of metal, sparks going through it, eroding away the metal. You might have a liquid involved in there as well, clearing shit out, and yeah, hopefully you get the gist of it from that. If not, Google it, have a look. I'm sure there's videos on YouTube explaining it. It's a bit too in-depth to go into in this video, and I don't know enough about it to really explain it properly. The pen here you can see is brass and the nuts are brass. You can also get an aluminium one. The aluminium pen, that is, the nuts are still brass. And I see now that they've also got a stainless steel one, a fully stainless steel one. So stainless steel pen, stainless steel nuts. It's a very nice pen. I've got a big screw-in bit on the end here which holds your ink cartridge in there. Sort of Parker pen style ink cartridge. Yeah, and they do a case, and by case it's essentially a full threaded nut. That's the full length of the pen, which looks pretty cool. But I do not have one of those to show you, but I'll stick a picture just about here, eh? So those two are pretty cool, but this one on the end here is my favorite, the one I keep fidgeting with the most, and potentially the most useful as well. This one is essentially just a toy. This is a toy and a writing implement, whereas this one's all sorts of things. This is the Metmo grip, and ever since I got it, I just can't stop playing with it. It's a very cool, nifty little tool. It's not something I've really used much as a tool, but for the last few weeks I've just been twiddling with it on my bench all the damn time. And you've probably seen it sitting in the background of a few videos and stuff. So what is it? Well, it's a wrench, essentially. It's, yeah, a wrench. But it also has a few other features. I mean, it's nice just to hold in the hand. So it's sort of the equivalent of a small crescent spanner, such as one of these 6-inch adjustable spanners. As you can see, sort of similar sort of size that you get out of it for gripping nuts and stuff. This is a little bit bigger than this, but not by a lot. It has some graduations on the handle here, so you can sort of use it like a pair of not too accurate vernier calipers. Good for just getting basic measurements of nuts or fingers or something like that. But as well as being able to undo nuts and bolts and stuff with this end, we've got this interesting shape on the other end of the jaws here. If we close that up, you'll see that it basically is the size of a 1/4 inch hex drive bit. So if you need to get into a tight space, voila, you can just chuck a driver bit in there that you'd normally stick in your impact driver, and away you go. Now it doesn't grip it super tight, because as soon as you sort of any pressure on this thing and it will not move. So it's hard to get it really tight. You can't sort of ratchet it up tight. But if you're just trying to unscrew something in the corner of somewhere or underneath something, it's enough to just get the job done, sort of thing. Quite a cool little feature. They also claim that this jaw part here, this sort of sharp edge, can be used as a box cutter. Personally, I didn't find it much use for that at all. I haven't worked out how to actually even do it, because it just doesn't, the angles just don't quite work right, and it's not really that sharp. If we also take a look here, second day I had it, I think it was, might have even been the first day, I was twiddling around outside on the driveway and I dropped it and sort of damaged it a bit there. A little bit of sandpaper and we'll probably be able to tidy that back up again. Because it's made of pretty tough materials, it is 316 stainless, the jaws, and also this sort of handle part here, the loop. The loop, incidentally, you can hang it up by the loop, of course, so it's quite handy. Hook it on your wall. The rod through the middle here, which has the two different, let's get a bit closer here, the two different sort of spiral effects on it here. Got the small one here heading in an opposite direction to the larger one at the bottom here. Now that's 1020 carbon steel, and then the black pieces here are 6061 anodized aluminium. And it all makes for a very cool tool, which most of the time runs pretty smoothly. Occasionally it sort of sticks. If you sort of tweak this a little bit or you put too much pressure on it, you need to hold it quite loosely if you just want to play with it. There's also a couple of little O-rings under here that stop it from clamping up dead tight, else you might never get the thing undone again. And we've got a couple of screws on the end here holding the whole thing together. So if you're interested in any of these three, or the driver or the cube, take a look down in the description. They're not affiliate links, they're just some links to this company, because I think it's just, you know, it's cool to see a company doing some cool shit. Just a small place. They've only done like 5 things so far. And yeah, I'd like to see what they do in the future. I'm looking forward to getting my drivers. I bought 2 of them and a case to go in and stuff like that. So when I get that, I will do a review on that. It's an old-fashioned design that's sort of been jazzed up a bit for modern times, as is this. This is a design from about 1915, I think it is, and some of you will be familiar roughly with the design, and it's just been jazzed up and made to look pretty and fun to play with. But of course the best feature is this. Oh yeah. And I'll have to admit, like any spanner, I have used it as a hammer. This end here, quite good for just tapping away on things. Probably not recommended. You can use it to get into an impact driver if you don't have another impact driver. It's good for getting a bit more leverage on the end of an Allen key as well if you need to. Of course you wouldn't normally be doing it like that when you could have done it like that, but just imagine you're in a tighter space. You can also use the jaws to help give you more leverage. I did actually use it the other day as well to lever underneath something and just prise it up. So it's one of those sort of tools you can use for all sorts of different things. Just, yeah, you've got some awkward little task. A free bit of advice though for the engineers, if you want this to be a better bit holder, because they do tend to just slide in and out quite a lot. So when it's closed up, the bit, it's hard to keep it there. It will easily pop out due to not being able to get this thing done up super tight. So you'll have your bit and it will just slide in and out like that. As soon as you put a bit of pressure on it, it's far more inclined to slide out. So if it is designed for driver bits, all driver bits have this indentation on the shaft. Make use of that by putting a little bump in one of these, you know, just in the middle on either the top or the bottom or both, whatever, and that will help stop the bits from sliding in and out. They will be held firmly in place with the detent on the shaft there. So you use it just like you would a normal sort of spanner or wrench, adjustable or otherwise, but I can feel this is opening up a little bit here, so I might just have to tighten that back up again. So you can of course do it from the end of the wrench as well, like so, as well as that. You know, you can sort of turn it on just about any angle. It's quite nice in that regard. But it is hard to get any purchase on something that's really stubborn, because these will sort of prise apart if it's too, you know, too stiff, whatever you're trying to get undone, done up. Here we've got something that might be a bit stiff here. No, not too bad. So let's tighten that right up tight. You can just see it started to open up a little bit there, the jaws, but pretty good. It's not a everyday tool really, in my opinion. It's more a sort of emergency tool in the toolkit sort of thing. Not that you'd spend this much money on that sort of thing probably, but it also just looks good like hanging on a wall. You know, this is a nice looking wrench thing to have hanging around that you can use for lots of different things. Personally, I mostly use it as a bottle opener. That might say more about me than the tool itself. And I also just like having it sitting here on the workbench when I'm making videos and stuff, so that I can just play with it like this, because I think that's the best value of it. It's just how good it feels in the hand, and just looking at the engineering behind it. It's just a nice object to own and to hold. And that's basically what these Metmo products are. Don't expect it to be a high-end tool as such, rather just a high-end piece of engineering. And yeah, I'm thankful that it's that. I don't mind. I just, yeah, love playing with these things. I love looking at them, and that is the whole purpose, I do believe. So if you're interested in them, like I said earlier, take a look down in the description. Keep a look out on the channel. I will have the driver, which is a ratcheting driver thing. It looks pretty cool. Once again, old design, reimagined for the 21st century, and just a tool that you probably wouldn't use that often, but it might get you out of a jam every now and again. If you've got tons of power tools, you might not use it that much, but just nice to own in the first place and just show people. whenever I show someone this, they're always fascinated by it, and I'm sure the driver will be the same. And just wait until you see the cube. The cube is awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. That's another one. I just thought I'd do something a bit different instead of a Makita review, just for a change. And it's the perfect time to get one of these sort of things for, you know, Christmas is coming up. So have a look on the website, see if you can get something cool available for the special engineering nerd in your life. And they do come in nice packaging. And I'll see you on another video in a few days' time. Cheers, guys.